they ain't even know it was running.
Yeah, like now I just hit live. So this is the cold opener right now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So here we
It's
are. Yes.
Ring Kings podcast.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Yes. We are here to talk some Tank Davis. We're here on a live stream. Usually we give you guys a recorded. I can't even say usually. We usually do live streams, and then we started doing more recorded episodes. And look, we're gonna switch it up. Okay. We're here, we're live. Okay. Ring Kings podcast, baby. Okay, we're in the building.
Hey, it's our anniversary too, right?
It's our anniversary.
Yes.
And look, and Bud wants to say something too.
Black Pride, baby. We in the building.
We're in the building. Yes. All right. So we are going to talk some Tank Davis today. Mainly Tank Davis. He's got a fight coming up with Hector Garcia next week. Of course, by now you guys have heard the controversy with him. You know, got some more legal issues. And what does that mean for the fight? What does that mean for him? We'll get into all that. Just give you our opinions. And look. We're going to drop the intro. I know you guys love the intro. We're going to drop the intro. So after the intro, we're going to come back and we're going to talk some Tank Davis. We'll be right back. Yes, Ring Kings podcast has officially started now. All right. Yes. And look, D-Weezy's already in chat says hashtags intros matter. Hey,
it's only the best one in the game. I'll put it up against anybody's. No disrespect
on that.
No disrespect, but all disrespect.
That's right. Shout out to Living Legend for coming through, man. Appreciate you. Yes. Shout out to everybody's watching. Look, our guy Eric L's over on Facebook watching, giving us the like on Facebook. Appreciate you, Eric L. Look, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay, so make sure you're following in all those places. I ain't even put up the banner or the overlay. There we go. Now we are ready to go. All right. Yes, Eric L's in the house. Oh, we got a new profile pic there. Okay. Hey, appreciate you. Okay, appreciate you. Thanks for coming through. Always supporting. Right. Yes. Look, at Ring Kings Pies, where you can follow us. Everywhere you have social media, pretty much TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff, Instagram. We are there. Actually, not on Facebook. On Facebook, it's just LBHTShow. So, but
that's still us.
That's still us. That's the Lunch Break Hot Take channel. Okay. And of course, you can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, your podcast of choice. Make sure you give us a 5-star review if you are listening to us there. All right. But yes, we are here. We're here to talk some Tank Davis. So this happened just a few days ago. It seems like it happened weeks ago, but it happened I think pretty much this week. Tank Davis was arrested on a domestic charge, got bonded out shortly after, and he immediately took to social media and said, "Hey, listen, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm gonna play everything I got. I recorded it. I took pictures. I want to show you what's really going on." And honestly, I think that helps save him in terms of his image and just public opinion, and even this fight coming up. Right. Because when it first happened, he at his own mouth said, "Hey, I don't even want to do this fight right now, real talk." And I'm sure that's just frustration at that point. But, fights have been canceled in the past for issues like this. When he was supposed to fight Rolly Romero the first time, Rolly had a serious charge against him. Turned out to not be true, but the fight got pushed back until that got resolved. Right. This could have been something that got pushed back, if his daughter's mom didn't recant her story. Right. So, but we'll break everything down. Just the whole situation. I don't really like to do who's right, who's wrong, but I want to give my thoughts on just everything that happened and how Tank handled it. I don't think he handled it poorly, but I think he can make better decisions about who he's around in the future. And shout out to Maddie Gunner. Oh God, Maddie Gunner is in the house. Says how many weeks before the Garcia fight is going to pull out? We taking bets. Oh, he's talking about the Ryan Garcia fight. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Also, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you, Maddie. Man, yes, we appreciate you, Maddie. You always come through and support our stuff, man. Thank you so much. Hey, I don't know, man. Listen. If Ryan Garcia pulls out of this fight, I gave Ryan Garcia a lot of props for doing this fight. I gave him a lot of props.
Yeah.
If he pulls out of this fight,
I don't think he's going to pull out of this fight. I think the fight's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen too. I'm just saying, if he pulls out of this fight, he getting all the smoke. All right.
It's a long way away. You know me. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I hope it happens. I think that if they can pull it off, man, I think it will spark. It will spark a lot of smoke happening between the boxers, and we'll see a lot of great matchups happening in the future if they can pull it off. But it's a lot of time from now and then, and too much can happen, man. And it's just I try to be optimistic, but we'll see, man. But I'm with you, Maddie. It's for me. I'm thinking the same way.
Yeah. And shout out to Ferris. Ferris comes through with a good question. What if Ryan wins? We don't really talk about that much. I'm gonna tell you what happens if Ryan wins. He's a superstar, right? Yeah. He's probably the most popular, right, boxer. He's the most. I won't say most popular boxer. He's the most popular person. Okay, I think Tank is the most popular boxer. Like in the boxing world, Tank is what sells the most, right? Ryan Garcia sells, but I don't think he sells like Tank does in boxing. But popularity, Ryan is the most popular person. Okay, he's just content creation and all that stuff. But if he beats one of the most popular boxer, then he turns into a superstar. And shout out to Anonymous for the $30 donation. Thank you, sis. Thank you for having a voice for the voiceless. Oh, hey. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Appreciate that. Look,
appreciate that.
We try to bring something a little different to look. There's a lot of good boxing content creators out there. And respect to all of them. We try to do something a little different here, right? Look, boxing fans, those diehard fans, they're intense, right? They're very intense, and those streams get lively, to say the least. We try to make it a little bit more casual over here, right? You can call us casual fans if you want. That we don't take offense to that. We like to keep it a little bit light over here, but we're gonna give you the information. We want to educate fans when we can, So yes, but thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. And if you want to be awesome like Anonymous, there are two ways you can do that. One is right next to OTR Mike, $ LBHTShow. Okay, right there. That's our Cash App. Also, that pin link that you see in the comment will take you to our Stream Elements page. Both ways, you make a donation, leave your comment, and you get a nice animation right next to my face. It's a little cut off because of the banner there, but I'm going to adjust that. I might even have a different animation for you guys for the Ring Kings. That's usually for our Lunch Break Hot Take page. But yes, if Ryan Garcia wins, he's the guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like he will be like Oscar De La Hoya level popular.
Yeah, that's the old saying, right? That's what Ric Flair always say: to be the man, you got to beat the man, and Tank is the man right now.
Yes,
Tank is the guy that they all want. Tank's the guy that Devin Haney wants. Tank's the guy that keeping Keyshawn Davis talking about a Tank fight in the future. Shakur Stevenson talking about Tank. Like everybody's talking about Gervonta Davis, but nobody's getting the fight done except Ryan Garcia. Right, he's the one that's out there trying to make that happen. So if he wins, he gets all the respect, he gets all the popularity, he gets the big money fights. He's the man,
and which is why you have to look. we tease Ryan a little bit here. I know I do, right? Because he's shown in the past that he flakes on some of these fights. He'll put his toe in the water, he'll talk the smack, and then the fight never happens. Which is why, though, you have to give him some respect if this fight actually goes through, right? Because it's been documented that he and Tank were very instrumental in making this fight happen. Not the promoters, the two fighters stepped in the front of this thing and they made it happen. If all things considered, if it happened, so you had to give him props. It would hurt me so bad if he won, because if you go back to some of Rain King's first episodes, this is the fight that I clearly said I wanted, and I wanted Tank. My exact words were, I want Tank to knock his head off. I just want, so just because of how Ryan has been in the past. But again, like I said, I have a newfound respect for him if they can make this fight happen. But if he wins, he's, like you say, he's that guy. Now, what I can see happening, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, or if you can see this happening as well, I can see the Haneys, the Stevensons, all of those guys now attacking him, right? But I can see them attacking him from a different angle of, just the way that Haney and all those guys looked at Kambosos when he beat Tail, right?
Yep.
Teofimo. Like, this is an easy win. They're going to look at it as an easy win for them. But if he can pull it off, man, clearly he's not a slouch, right?
Right.
And I don't think he's a slouch anyway. I think that he's a good boxer. But I just don't think he's on Tank's level. So who asked that question? Ferris, don't scare me like that. All right. We don't need to don't put those nightmare thoughts in my head, because I would be done. I don't know what I would do. I'd be on here crying if that happened.
Maddie said Ryan's whole business revolves around NFTs, not fighting Tank. Look, so that's the other part of it too, right? Even in a loss, it could boost. It probably will boost his popularity.
Yeah.
Right. Look at what happened to Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz. I mean, first of all, if he fights like Isaac Cruz to a decision, that's the same thing as a win, right? Because Isaac Cruz fans will swear that he won the fight. He didn't win the fight, but they will say, "Hey, man, like, we fought that fight close, and our guy won it." If a fight like that is similar with Ryan Garcia, well, that's all the validation that Ryan Garcia supporters need. And even Ryan Garcia and his star goes up. If he gets knocked out, his stardom could still go up. Because look at Rolly, right? Because what did Rolly do? Rolly did the one thing that you're supposed to do. You keep talking, right? Yep. Rolly got right out there after the fight, said, "Man, I basically won every round until the knockout. I mean,
I won every round before that punch. He got one lucky punch. I kill him. We fight again."
Right. So I think this is just a win-win for Ryan Garcia. In fact, I think win or lose, the next fight is a rematch.
Yeah, the only way he loses is, like Maddie said, if he pulls out of the fight. That's the only way he loses. And if he pulls out of the fight, I don't know if there's any coming back from that.
Now,
in terms of his boxing career.
All this, I don't want to overlook the current Garcia that he's about to fight, Hector Garcia. That's a bad boy. Okay. He's undefeated as well. Schooled our man Chris Colbert. All right. He is not a tune-up. Now Tank might treat him like a tune-up, right? He might get knocked out like a tune-up, but this man is not a tune-up. He's an excellent fighter, and that is who he's supposed to be fighting next weekend, right? And this ties in a little bit to the question that Ferris is asking here. Also, what's going on with Davis and the money team? Talking about Mayweather Promotions. Now, Tank is no longer with Mayweather Promotions. He's his own promoter. Yes, there's a massive falling out. I'm not sure if there's a falling out, right? I think it's a situation where he wanted to go solo, and Mayweather and LB, the whole team did their best to try to keep him under contract, but eventually just let him out of a contract. Tank says a lot of things on social media. He put a lot of things out there talking about Mayweather, but when he was asked about it, he said, "Look, man, I talk trash, right? Don't disregard a lot of things I say on social media, man. I'm just talking like there's no beef between us. We're still gonna work with them, but I want to do my own thing. I can totally respect that. But like I asked Mikey before we came on here, given what has went down, what's transpired, and we're gonna get to that right now, with him being arrested, having an issue with his daughter's mom, how he addressed it. Was it the right move leaving Mayweather Promotions? Because these are the type of things that I think Mayweather handled for him, handled well, speaking to the public and handling these type of incidents, and also, doing his best to try to keep him out of those situations. So, Mikey B, what are your thoughts on that?
First, let's just talk about what exactly happened. He was arrested in Parkland, Florida, and was charged with 1 count of battery to cause bodily harm, which is a misdemeanor domestic violence charge in Florida. According to, and this is from an article on SI.com, according to the incident report, Davis did, quote, intentionally touch and strike the victim, a woman, and did intentionally cause bodily harm. Davis, according to the report, struck the victim on the right side of her head with a closed hand type slap that caused a small abrasion to the inside of her upper lip on the right side of her mouth. And according to the 911 call, the woman who is the mother of Gervonta's daughter told the 911 operator he's going to kill me. Right. Well, a day or two after the arrest, she came out and he posted something on Instagram saying that, she just made a bad decision calling the police, that they were just in an argument. The argument was both of their faults. He didn't hit her. He didn't hit their daughter. There was no abuse or anything like that. And she just, made a mistake calling the police. Tank, for his part, he posted on Instagram. He deleted it later, but he posted a video with a few pictures and a video of him kind of, staying outside of the house and trying to keep his distance from this woman. I have the video here. We're going to go ahead and play that now.
Yeah.
So you can see that she put feces on his toothbrush, ripped his shirt, spit on him, and you saw her in the house kind of pacing around carrying their daughter. And he's essentially saying in that video, or not saying, but trying to show that he's outside the home, trying to stay away, trying to not engage at that point.
Yeah. So, and I think that part is what kind of helps save everything in terms of his, his image and even possibly the fight, right? Is that he immediately responded, right? Got arrested. TMZ put out a clip of the 911 call, and he immediately responded to it and said, listen, you guys have more information than that. Y'all ain't gonna put it out, but this is what happened. I did my best to kind of stay away from that whole thing. And I think that's what prompted her to put out her statement, because damn, I'm caught on camera. So, let me not try to act like he was beating the hell out of me, because he clearly has video evidence there, right? So, she calmed down. They worked it out, and she put out that statement. And I think now, he could move forward with the fight. Of course, he's going to get asked about it, but I think for his public image, it looks better than it did prior to that coming out, right? So I think that helps with the whole thing. Of course, there's still gonna be questions. We don't know exactly what happened, but I think him, defending himself in that way, saying, "Nah, man, I didn't do anything. Let me show you what she did," and standing by it and really just putting his foot down, I think helped overall.
Yeah, go ahead.
My bad. That was me. Yeah, look, it's a tough situation for him. He has a what they call a history of these type of incidents. February 4th of 2020, he was charged with simple battery domestic violence in Coral Gables, Florida, which is, we all seen the infamous video of him dragging his then girlfriend out of an arena, grabbing her by the shirt. That those charges were, I believe, later dropped. And then there's other situations with him running into the law. He has a pending I think he will go, he stands for trial, I think, in February for another incident,
a hit and run from 2020.
involving a hit and run.
Yep, so, it says it right here. Yep, you're right, Maddie.
Yeah, so any type of situation like this is, it's just not a good look for him. for the most part, right? He has been trying to fix his image, trying to be on the straight and narrow. He's been out of trouble. Some of these things tend to find him, unfortunately. I agree with you, Zay. I do think the backing out of some of these statements, him having his own video evidence, has helped him a lot in this situation as far as the fight still being able to go on. I also agree with you as well. This is when having a good promotional team, because in those statements he released, he said, "I don't have this high-powered lawyer. I don't have a PR team." Those promotional companies typically have those in place for you.
Yeah.
So, that is where him not being tied to Floyd and them, could it could have backfired on them and them. They would have jumped on this quickly.
Appreciate you, Erica.
Happy New Year.
Thanks, Eric.
Happy New Year.
But I will add to this. After seeing the tweet, after all this went down and him saying, "I don't even want this fight," I am concerned for him where he will be mentally. But as we say all the time, you don't play boxing, right?
Right.
And this is one of the things where you have to be 100% on top of your game, because you can, these guys are, even Hector Garcia is a good fighter, right? But it could be anybody in there. It's one of those sports where the right punch at the right time could swing an entire fight, right? So I am a little concerned about where he will be mentally going into this fight. He will have a bunch of questions this week coming, leading up to the fight. He's going to have to talk about this. And this is where a good PR team would step in front of that. So we'll see. It's also I don't know, man. It's one of those things where, and we kind of talked about this offline. I understand wanting to be around your family, wanting to see your kids and things like that. But when you in training camp, you in the midst of basically fight week coming up, you got to be smarter than this, right? Especially as I think Living Legend spoke about, toxic relationships, especially if this is a toxic situation. You don't need to be around that, right? This is this is where grandmothers and grandfathers and aunts and uncles step in, and kid comes to you, right? Your child, your family comes to you while you're in training camp if you want to decompress and be around your kids. So he has to be smarter in that regard. And I think, to your point, Zay, I think this is where Leonard Ellerby and Floyd stepped in and kind of was able to remove him from all of that distraction. So we'll see how it affects him on next Saturday. But he's got to, if he's going to be on his own, man, he's got to now invest in the things that he said he don't have, which is a strong lawyer and a good PR team going forward.
Yeah, and when he said it, I think he was saying it like, yeah, I don't need all that stuff. I'm as real as it gets. I don't need anybody speaking for me. It should says, Mike, some of us love toxic women, not me though. Sure thing, Shook. Look, yeah, there's a reason why people had that stuff, right? Because this is part of the business, right? And this is why, some boxers, they can't, not every boxer can be their own business. Like we talk about Bud Crawford a lot, right? I'm not saying this is going to be the case with Tank, but there's some things that Tank needs to figure out moving forward. He needs to understand moving forward that you need to have a team around you, right? Not just for negotiating deals, but this side of it, right? Because we know Floyd played a role in making sure that hey, we got to keep you focused on boxing. Pulling them out of the city, having them train in Atlanta, Vegas, or wherever, taking them out of that element so his focus can just be boxing. And I think that did wonders for his career. I was looking at some pictures earlier when I'm trying to create some thumbnails for us, right? You look at Tank beginning of his career at a lighter weight, versus now, even though he's heavier, he looks leaner, right? And I think, and he's come into fights overweight before, or a fight overweight before. And we kind of wondered then. He didn't look great in that fight. I mean, he ended up knocking the guy out, but he just looked undisciplined. We're like, man, he's got to get more discipline. He's got to get more focus on this. But now he looks like that guy, right?
Mhm.
He's showing you a lot more boxing skills, a lot more array of skills, and he goes into those fights just in shape, lean, ready to go. He looks like he's just on a completely different level now. And I think Floyd had a lot to do with that. Now, does he need Floyd moving forward? Maybe not. But again, it does make you wonder when he gets into trouble like this, whether it was his fault or not. You're going to speculate. Now, like I said, it looks like this is resolved, and we got to see how it is moving forward. I know me personally, I already told you, like, if I were him, I'm sure nobody's advised him to do this, and they might even advise him not to do it. That would me personally, I would sue that woman. I don't care if that was my child's mom. I would sue her, right? If I didn't do it and you call the cops on me, one, you're putting me in harm's way by calling the police, just in general, right? And two, you're saying I did all this stuff, or you call police, say I did this stuff, and that can hurt my earning potential. Well, if I have sponsors that pull out because of this, or were potentially going to work with me, but now they don't want to work with me, right? I'm suing you, and I'm not dropping that. I'm not settling. I'm going to sue you to prove a point, and to send a message to anybody else I deal with in the future. Don't play these games. I wish more people would do that, right? When given the fact all things considered, if they're telling the truth, they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but most of the time, hey, I didn't do anything isn't the truth. So
Right.
That kind of stuff doesn't happen.
Yes.
Matty says if this was Ryan or Haney, they'd be salivating at this happening. They'd use it against him, so he needs to shut it all out, take away his phone, and focus on the fight.
Yes.
Yeah, it is true. But I will say this: if it was Haney, it wouldn't be that big a deal because Haney couldn't stand up to Tank for 12 rounds. but I absolutely hear your point because, like Mike was saying, you don't know where he's at mentally, and you're going into a fight with a tough opponent, and obviously, his focus is not going to be 100% on the fight at this point, having this happen a week beforehand. So it's going to be interesting to see how he shows up on the day, and how that fight plays out, because obviously he didn't really want a Hector Garcia fight anyway, right? Like, period. He wanted the Ryan Garcia fight.
Yeah,
this is a tune-up, or just a way to stay busy before that fight. So now, we saw what happened with Teofimo and Kambosos. Teofimo didn't want that fight. He maybe at one point he did, but he kept getting pushed back, and then he didn't want to take that fight anymore.
Right.
He wanted to move up, wanted to drop the belts, move up to 140, and keep it moving from there. But it was signed. They had the date and everything. And he's like, all right, I'll go do it. And he wasn't really ready. And he came out of that night with an L.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen with Tank. I think Tank is a more disciplined fighter than Teofimo, and he's just a flat out better fighter, right? And I think his trainer, he has a levels better trainer than Teofimo. He has everything going for him that Teofimo doesn't have going for him. So I don't think it's going to be the same outcome. Matty says it's fine. He won't have to when Loma takes out Haney under 7. Oh,
listen, if Loma looks the way he looked in his last fight, that ain't happening.
So I'm trying. Well, we can talk about that too, but I'm trying not to put too much stock in that fight. Sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes fighters have off nights.
Yeah. He had a long layoff, and obviously for very serious reasons. So I mean, it could have been just, hey, bad night. This is a guy who I've sparred with before. He knows me. Blah blah.
That's
blah.
about to say that's somebody that knows him a little bit better. He works with him, So
could be all that.
Yes,
could be all that, or it could be he's 30s. He's in his mid 30s, and maybe the bloom is off the rose a little bit there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll find out. But this is going to be Haney's biggest challenge. And we'll find out that, and that's why what I don't like about Haney's camp always calling out Tank when I'm like, look, you have fights ahead in front of you. like this whole talk of, oh, Tank won't fight me. You know, you was never going to fight Tank. Bob Arum had these fights set up for you already. So focus on that. And you can you can build your rep if you go out there and you dominate Lomachenko, right? And if a Tank fight isn't in the cards after that right away, you have Shakur Stevenson right there. Like you can really build yourself up because ESPN has hyped up Lomachenko, right? Even through his layoff, they've been hyping him up. You go out there and you take care of business, you are the man.
Mm-hmm.
Weezy says Weezy 6-0 picking fights. There you go. JP in the house says, fellas, happy new year to you gentlemen and your loved ones. Shout out to you.
Shout out JP.
Thanks for coming through. D Weezy says, facts, Jose, if this chick as crazy as it might be, mother of my child or not, she got to go. If I know if it were me, you know, I got kids, you know, I'm not with their mom, some of them. And if a situation like that happened, you already know we going right to court. I'm taking you right to court. I will show no mercy. You gotta be ruthless sometimes, man. Right? I think you know, guys get a little soft with that, like, oh, it's mother of my child. I don't want to see anything bad happen to them. I wouldn't either. But legally speaking, if they're willing to call the cops on you for something you didn't do, that's crossing the line. And for me, a message needs to be sent, right? Not saying I want her in jail or anything like that, but I'm definitely going to sue her, hit her pockets, so she understands. Yeah, I may not want to play with that. You know, there's a lot of things that you can settle behind closed doors. Okay, you get into an altercation, it gets a little heated, right? Gets out of hand. All right, you calm down. Next day, especially he's like I said, if he's not doing anything, she's just acting crazy and he's just kind of stepping away. That can be fixed. You know, you shouldn't be putting your hands on anybody, man or woman, right? But if it's one of those things, she acted out, and then the next day she's like, "Hey, I was tripping. Let's talk about this." That can be that you can resolve that. You call the cops. That's when it becomes deadly. Maddie says, I agree. He should. Only problem is his pattern of previous behavior. Absolutely. Yeah, his pattern may not help him. Fully agree, though. No, absolutely. However, the video that he put out and her statement that she put out helps him a lot. Right? Her saying, nah, he ain't doing anything. Right? Like that
well, I mean, look, you can go right into the court and say, hey, listen, you know, he was threatening me, putting pressure on me to put out this statement to not mess up this fight that's coming up next week. Right? Because the police report says he did hit her.
Yes. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Absolutely. You know, it could get messy. You're absolutely right. But moving forward, you know what you need to do. Okay. Have an in-between person. Okay. I don't go to your house to see my daughter. You don't bring my daughter to me. We're going to have a middle person. You drop our daughter off to this person brings my daughter to me, vice versa. Right. That's how you got to handle it. And I hope somebody in this camp is telling them that right now, because this cannot be happening the week of your fight. You know, but you know, they said they're in counseling over it. Hopefully that works out. That's really the best case scenario is, all right, we're immature about this. We are seeking real counsel, and we are going to move on from this and work together to co-parent. That would be great, actually.
Mm-hmm. And if he has an issue, right, like get help, man. Be realistic about the situation. Hopefully his camp, is being realistic about it too, if there is an alleged. All of this is allegedly, right? So let's make sure we say those words before they attack us. But he's a young guy, right? And he if there is an issue, this is the time to get himself some help as well. But timing. Right, timing is just bad, and it goes back to what we said before, and kind of what Maddie said too. Like, man, take your phone, man. Like, a lot of these guys they really get missing during training camp. You know what I mean? And that's what that's what has to happen, right? Dad is going away for 4 weeks. I'll be back home. and on my downtime I'll call, whatever the case may be. But he has to. Those are things that he has to get in line going forward. You know, you spoke about it Tuesday, like one of the things that Floyd did, and I was so happy that he did do it. As Tank started to get his popularity in this area, he would still be here.
Yes.
And we would all, people that's from here, know he don't need to be here, right? Just because we've seen some of our brightest spots, our brightest stars taken away from here or gotten in some type of trouble. So he got him away from here, and that was the best thing that could happen for Tank. Um, so, you know, maybe he needs to regroup. And you know, I know Florida and Atlanta has been a second home to him, and he's been training in Florida the last couple fights. Maybe it's time to switch that up again. Maybe he need to go to Texas. I don't know where, but they gotta get all of this in line, especially if this is what he's going to do and be on his own from now on. He's gotta get a strong team, and they gotta get that all of that in line moving forward. He can't have no slip ups like this facing somebody like a Ryan Garcia, right? Facing Shakur Stevenson. He cannot have these things happen to him, especially a week before the fight. Right, he just can't. So
look, man, where did Floyd fight out of, like the majority of his career, like 99% of his career? Vegas, right?
Yeah.
He's not from Vegas. He's from Michigan.
Yeah.
You never hear him say from Detroit or Flint or wherever he's from. You know, Grand Rapids. You never hear him say from Michigan. They say fighting out Las Vegas, Nevada. He completely removed himself from that element.
Mm-hmm.
Right, to a point that you forget that he's not from Vegas. You know, look, as fans of him being a hometown guy, like we don't ever want people to forget that he's from Baltimore, right? But look, man, like we know what it is too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just can't be out here, right? You come here when you're visiting, you visit at the harbor.
Send him out to Sacramento like they did Chris Webber.
Yeah.
Wonders for him.
Yeah. Let him cry on the plane like Webber did. You know, but if he
was in tears.
Yeah, he's in the plane looking over and seeing all the farmland. But if you look at his run-ins, you know, 90% of them happened in the DMV area, right? Which tells me, look, I don't need to be there. Like, and he, one thing about him is he puts on for his city, right? And that's fine. Like, we all know where you're from, and you don't have no problem telling people that, and that's the great thing about him.
Yeah.
But for him to have a successful career, he does not need to be here, unfortunately, right? And that's it's not just him. A lot of star athletes, you know, they have to get away from home because of the distraction. So it's not just him, but you know, he to like Living Legend is saying, yeah. I mean, it's the truth, you know, Charm City. But if you don't, it can be hard. It's Harm City. If you don't see it's Harm City, and that is 100%. So it's just, you know, and I want to give him credit in some regards. He has matured over the years. He has, and he's shown an effort of trying to mature in and outside of the ring. He has. But obviously he got to go back to the drawing board and clean up a little bit more of what he got going on, and that may include who you have around you, you know. And he's just got to be smarter, man. He just got to be smarter. And you know, I'm sure I can see the comments. I can foresee the comments of being us, you know, calling us homers and all of this. We are not condoning anything of putting your hands on anybody
at all.
Know? We are not condoning that. We are just speaking the facts of the situation of what we know just as much as you know. But he does have to make some changes going forward.
Yeah, no, well said, man. Well said. So, I mean, look, we covered a lot there, man. We covered, you know, the incident. We covered a little bit of Hector Garcia. We didn't give predictions for the Hector Garcia fight. Are we saying knockout, decision? Hector Garcia is a very skilled fighter, undefeated.
I'm saying that Tank gets a controversial decision win.
Ooh. Okay. So decision. Okay. Split decision.
I don't know that it's going to be split. I'm saying I think that he's going to be off his game, and there's going to be a lot of people saying that Hector Garcia won that fight.
Okay.
But I think it'll be a close one.
Okay.
I can see that be. As I said before, I am concerned about where his head will be going into this fight. With that said, he will knock his block off.
I'm gonna say unanimous decision. I think Hector Garcia. Yeah, Maddie. I think Hector Garcia can survive to the 12th round. I think he might get knocked down a couple times, but I think he's skilled enough to kind of hold up to the end. But I think I have. What is it? May says, on a more positive note, are you guys excited for KSI versus Dylan Dennis? That's the highest levels of the sport right here. Dylan Dennis is who? Is he a YouTuber? Is he? I'm gonna tell you, as a fellow YouTuber, okay, I support this. Look, people have a problem with content creators doing these spectacles. I got no problem with it. What's wrong with it, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It doesn't hurt the sport in any way. It's just a sideshow. That's all it is. It's just a sideshow. And in fact, it could help the sport. It could bring more people to boxing, right? That wouldn't normally watch.
Dylan Dennis is actually he's a mixed martial artist. Allegedly had trained with Conor McGregor, but I just saw him in an interview with Ariel Helwani, and Helwani was like, "How's your friendship with Conor going these days?" And he's like, we're fine, we're friends. He's like, "When was the last time you talked to him?" He's like, "I don't know." Like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, and he couldn't, he just wouldn't answer like when the last time he talked to him. He's like, "Well, I'm just asking because it doesn't seem like you're friends anymore, or whatever, or you haven't talked to him in a while." He's like, "We trained with each other for like my whole career basically," and he was like. He asked him something. He's like, "Well, when did you start training with him?" And they, he told him when the fight. He was like, "So really, it was only like 2 years." And so he just kept going at him, trying to find out, like, when was the last time you talked to Conor? And he's like, "Well, I don't know, man. Like, when was the last time you talked to your friend?" He's like, "Which friend? I'll tell you. I know when I talked to my."
Wait, is that the one he was going in on? He's calling him a liar. Is that the one Ariel was calling? He's like, "I don't like liars" or whatever.
Not in the interview I saw. He didn't call him a liar. He was just kind of going at him about when he had been talking to Conor and when he had trained with him.
I think that's the one. Like that's actually his friend, but he was kind of roasting him. I think that's the one. Yeah. That was funny. That was funny. Maggie says he's a black belt that got choked out by a guy who works in a cake shop. Haven't competed in nearly 3 years. I can roll out of bed and beat him in a boxing match.
That's because you're a bad man, Maddie. All right. We don't know about KSI.
Listen. What I want to see from these events, right? Like a lot of these YouTubers, I don't know. Even though they're wildly popular.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of them. But I would like to see more grudge matches being made. Okay. I think that's the element of it that's missing. Like some of these YouTubers, they got some fake YouTube beef and then they take it out in the ring. But I want to see some real YouTubers that have real beef just jump in there and throw hands, or MMA, whatever. Have some grudge matches out there. Okay. MTV used to do that. Remember that, Mikey? Remember when it was not Sticky Fingers, Fredro Starr. No, Sticky Fingers. The Sticky Fingers. Then he lost to somebody.
Yeah, he got beat up. He got beat up by like a fan. It was a fan, wasn't it?
I don't know. That dude beat the brakes off of him.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of when they stopped because it wasn't supposed to go that way.
We all look at him like,
It was not supposed to go down like that.
Yes, man. This is exactly what I was thinking, but that dude is unwell.
Bring back Bully Beat Down. Yeah. Mayhem Miller. Yeah, after that standoff with the police. I'm not even sure. He's still alive, right?
Yeah.
They brought him in peacefully, but yeah, he had to stand off with the police, Mikey, and live tweeted it. Yeah.
You know why? Because that man is an entertainer.
Yeah. She said, "Well, if that's the case, Brodny, I want you in the ring. I'm calling you out." You don't mean that. We're talking. We're not talking about a magic ring. We're talking about a boxing ring. Yeah.
Yes,
Living legend. He remembers Sticky Fingers.
Yeah.
Yes.
He got whipped, and it was not. I'm telling you, I think that's when it stopped, man. Because it was
I think
like
so.
all the other celebrities started getting afraid. Like, nah, man, I can't get on there. Like, I can't take that chance.
Well, yo, you don't vet these people. Like, what is it?
Right?
Yeah. That's what I would like to see. Some celebrities, not just YouTube celebrities, like some celebrities go out there and throw some hands. Okay.
Mhm.
You got some rap beef. Get in that ring. Let's see what you about.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I'll pull up on the street. Oh, will you? All right. We'll meet at this gym at this time. Put some gloves on. Let's see if you
you can see me coming. Nah.
That listen. For anybody that's really talking about, oh yeah, pull up anytime. This and that. If you really feel that way, right? Set up a time in the gym. Stream it, pay-per-view, whatever. Hey, I'll call you out. Let's hop in this ring and let's throw hands. Let's see if you really about that life, right? You have the same level of skill, Most likely none of you guys are trainer. So give each other 6 months, 8 months, whatever. Train and get in that ring and let the best man or woman win. I would pay to see that.
They're like, oh, you serious? Nah.
Yo,
that was over this. That was Twitter fingers beef. I don't want that.
Who do you have against in a Drake versus
whoever Drake's fighting? Every time. Every single time I'm picking whoever Drake's fighting.
I agree.
That dude got a chain with 40 diamonds. How about, this is all the times that I thought about proposing. He ain't winning no fight.
What about Drake versus Kanye?
Oh, God, man. You might got me there. Was Kanye like 4'8"?
Kanye, he might beat the brakes off of Kanye.
I wouldn't say that. He might slap him a few times.
Yeah, that one could be interesting for sure.
Yeah. Living Legend loves that one. Ye versus Drake. D Weezy says draw. Zico Kage, what's going on? Thanks for coming through to the live stream. Says, yo, what's good? Red Kings, and I hope y'all have a great night and be safe. Happy New Year's. Thank you, Zeke. Appreciate you, man. Happy New Year's. Yes. Yeah, man. All right, look, man. What you got? What you mean?
I'm watching the Sticky Fingers fight. Like, he ain't even throwing. After the first 30 seconds, he's just turtling up.
Yo, I remember watching that live. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was one of those moments where it was a wake-up call that what rappers say isn't, it's not real. Right? Mm-hmm. Like they say a lot of stuff, but what they're saying and what they actually do, it doesn't add up.
Right. I can't go back home after this. I can't go back to the block after that.
Right.
Oh man, he turned his back, getting hit in the back of the head and everything.
Yeah.
He got whooped.
Yeah.
He got whooped.
Who was that guy?
Simon Woodstock.
Look, I remember seeing him. I was like, oh yeah, Sticky got this.
Mm-hmm.
And he got in that ring. I was like, yo, what? Like, you're not gonna hit him?
Like,
not gonna do anything? Yeah. He's a skateboarder. That's who Simon Woodstock is. He's a skateboarder.
Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He won't do that again.
No, he won't.
He will not do that again.
I know so many people watch this are like, yo, who's Sticky Fingers?
Use YouTube,
and that's the saddest part of all.
You might know him from acting. He turned into an actor after that. You saw him more shows.
He was in what was that movie he was in? It was like a dance, movie or something.
No, was he?
Yeah, like he wasn't dancing, but it was like, oh man, now I gotta look it up.
Yeah.
Only one I remember from is Sunset Park.
Yeah.
Part,
He's part of Onyx with Federal Star. But now I know Living Legend, right? But I'm saying some of our look, the people that are saying who's Sticky Fingers are going to ask you the same question: who's Onyx? Right?
Yeah.
That was a while ago. Yeah. All right. So we covered that. We talked about Tank. Talked a little bit about Ryan Garcia, Haney, things like that. But look, Bud Crawford, Mikey, won his fight against David Avanesian. Did it in a spectacular knockout, like we all thought it would happen. Black Prime says it was a resounding success. They exceeded expectations. Okay. Press release put out by Chris Cyborg said that the fight sold 150,000 units.
I believe it was 120.
I'm sorry, 120. I gave you extra 30,000. My bad. 120.
They were trying to make it sound believable.
Yeah. 120,000 units, according to an article written by Chris Cyborg on PR.com. And listen, he's letting Errol Spence know, I'm ready to spin the block when you're ready.
The block.
Yeah, when you're ready to spin the block, I'm here just to let you know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Because my opinion is that ship has sailed, and he better be looking for his next meal ticket.
Like, if your argument is, I knocked out this guy who everybody knew I was going to knock out, who had no business being in the ring with me, and then I lied about how many pay-per-view buys there were. So let's get back to the table. I'm not coming back to the table. I'm going to fight Keith Thurman, and I'm going to move up and make a fight with Charlo.
Man, look, it's he just gotta come out and say he just trying to get checks, and if that's the case, we'll respect him more, right? We know the Spence fight ain't happening no time soon because Spence is slated to fight in April.
Right? It just ain't happening.
Yeah. So then, all right. So then that's the timeline. So now you have to ask yourself, all right, he fought in December, right? So when's the next time he fights, right?
Yeah.
So then you have to look at, if those timelines don't align, you have to look at, all right, he's gonna want to fight again before he jumps in there with Spence, maybe, if that's the case. So I don't even see it happening this year. If it does, and when I say this year, obviously 2023, it'll be late 2023 if it happens. But again, as I said the first time, I am not holding my breath. I don't see it happening. He's got to get in there, though. His next fight has got to be with a name, right? Not a David Avanesian. It's got to be a solid name. It's got to be a solid name. And he's got to go in there and destroy him. And then maybe this fight will wake up again. But
some people have to see it.
Yeah, it's going to need to take, because the buzz is gone, right? Us boxing fans, we want to see it, right? But even amongst the boxing community, it's kind of like it's buzzless now because nobody believes it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So they gotta find a way to wake up that sleeping giant again, and the only way that's going to happen is they both fight solid names, good fighters, and they get in there and they destroy them, and then they can say, all right, look, it's the only thing left is us two, and we got to make it happen. But until then, I don't see it happening.
This is where we're at here. Maddie's saying, if Spence and Crawford ever actually fight, I mean, they actually get in the ring and exchange hands, I will look to the sky for flying pigs. Because, like I said, I think Spence is going to take his next fight in April, and I think he's going to move up out of the welterweight class. He's been talking about it for a long time. Yeah. And I think he's been waiting. He's been waiting around, to see if they can get that Crawford fight made. They almost had it, and then Bud pulled out. Like, he can say all the stuff he wants about, how the negotiations went or whatever, and it's on Spence. You had another fight set up with another promotion company. You pulled out. You torpedoed that fight. So why would Spence just hang around and wait for you again?
No. Maybe they meet at 154, but
Bud don't want that.
I don't think he want that either. So
okay. Couple of things here. First, I'm gonna read Living Legends question. Living Legend says, "I have a question for the podcast. Who is the best pound for pound today, in your opinion?" Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Living Legend, because we are working on our next Ring Kings pound for pound list. If you haven't watched the first one, it is on our channel. Go to Ring Kings podcast. Go to the YouTube channel. It is there. We have a series. We have our list. The number one current, our last pound for pound list that was out. Errol Spence was number one, but Crawford was number two. Okay. Will something change?
We're a little late with it, but it's coming soon.
Coming soon. Yes.
So we'll have that out for you.
Yes. Be on the lookout for that. We'll get our committee together and work on that updated list. Okay.
Yeah. So Sugarton, put your list together.
Watch. Sugar's got a long list of things that he needs to do.
I know.
Chris White, thanks for joining the live stream, brother. He says one have to fight Boots and the other has to fight Keith Thurman. Yeah, well, listen. Well, I'm glad he brought that up because that's what I was about to say. The Spence fight isn't happening anytime soon because one, I don't believe that fight that with David Evanesian sold 120,000 units. I don't care if you're a Bud Crawford fan and you feel otherwise. I don't believe it. I need something other than PR.com article written by Chris Cyborg, MMA legend, who was the co-main event on the undercard. Okay, right. I need something.
I hope BLK Prime at least paid for that.
And I love Chris Cyborg, by the way. I think she's dope. But I need.
Why does Chris Cyborg have the number?
Right. I need more than that.
Somebody told me. That's what I heard.
She pulled a Kaji Ishmael. I was in the room. I saw the numbers. I need something more than that. I don't believe it. And whether it's true or not doesn't matter, right? If you're trying to set up another fight with Errol and he's willing to sit down with you, they're going to ask for real numbers. And when you have to show the real numbers, first of all, 120,000 is still not. It's not.
That's the real. Like it's good for BLK Prime.
Yes,
right? Because they're not a boxing promoter and all this stuff. It's their first event. But 120,000 for Bud Crawford is not moving the needle in negotiations with Errol Spence at all.
You can, if those numbers hold up, you can make an argument. You can say, hey, I win with the independent company. It's not a major network or anything like that, and I was still able to pull a crowd, right? You can make an argument there. However, it's not 120,000. Like, we're being real about it. I don't believe it. And it's not going to be enough for them to say, okay, 50-50. It's going, whatever they offered the last time is going to be less, right? They're just going to say, like, straight up, like, nah, it's not good enough. You got to do better, or you have to take less, and he's not going to want to take less. Now, so that fight's not going to happen, in my opinion. I think he's going to have to, like Chris said, look to fight Boots. And if you're smart, that's what he'd do. Boots, Saniosis, Ugas, somebody. But his next fight has to be like at least a very respected fighter, because we know that's what Errol Spence is going to do. Whether it's Keith Thurman next or Boots, don't let Keith Thurman beat or don't let Errol Spence beat Keith Thurman in April and turn around and set up a fight with Boots and then win that fight. Nobody's talking about Bud anymore at all. Like, he's out of the conversation. Bud better not mess around and just fight some, whoever.
Let's be really fair. Nobody talks about Bud now.
Yeah.
They talk about BLK Prime and this whole fiasco, but when that's not going on, nobody talks about Bud Crawford.
Listen, because we already get the hate comments right on these videos for Bud fans, Boots fans. It's funny, we get it everywhere, right? But look, if you're a Bud fan, it's fine. We like Bud Crawford. We think he's an excellent fighter. Mm-hmm. He can beat any of these guys we're talking about, right? I mean, we would pick Errol Spence in a fight, but it wouldn't be one of those things we would be shocked if he beat Errol Spence. No, we like Bud. But this is why the fights need to happen. This is how you prove who the best is. What's up, Raven C? Thanks for coming through, man. But in terms of popularity, okay, casual fans is what determines your popularity. not hardcore fans. Hardcore fans know most of the boxers out there, right? How popular is he with casual fans? He's not popular at all. Okay. He's not a star. He's not a superstar. He's one of the best fighters in the world, but he's not popular. So you're absolutely right when you say nobody's talking about him.
Maddie says, I lost sleep over that last list. I know you did, Maddie, but that's just because you won't acknowledge the fact that Tyson Fury hasn't beaten anybody.
And he's retired.
No, not anymore.
Well, I mean, he is until he. Well, I guess he did fight this last one. Yeah. I just like maybe Maddie will be a part of the committee for the next one, so he can we can get him on that list. Okay. What's up, Davon? Davon's in house says I will be in on the playback, of course, fellas. Hey, you're here now. Thanks for coming through, man.
Cousin Davon.
Cousin Davon's here.
Yes. I see Maddie said in a way. Look.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Cool boy Steph.
I knew you were gonna say it.
He beats
will get knocked out by
Wow, I don't think so.
I'll give you a little preview of my list. I think Inoue is going to be number one this time around on mine.
Oh, okay. Knock out Cool Boy Steph? I don't think so.
Cool Boy Steph beats him.
The cool boy is not going to survive the monster. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Cool, but that's not an issue because Cool Boy has another fight before he even thinks about trying to set up something with Inoue. He gotta unite those belts in his division. He's only got 2. Go fight that other dude.
Yeah,
go fight that other dude and get them other 2 belts before you start talking. Before you start
that's
looking
easy.
for the
That's
monster.
easy work.
Oh, is it?
That's easy work.
Why he only got 2 belts on?
He said he was there. He take innocent. Hey, we got a witness. We got a witness. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
work like is he lazy? Why isn't he doing
it? Look. In a way, you better watch it. He better not sleep on Cool Boy Steph. That's all I'm gonna say.
He don't sleep on people. He puts people to sleep.
If they make that happen, that's gonna be one of the fights of the year. Whatever year it happened, then that's gonna be the fight.
It's gonna happen at some point. It's gonna happen. Yeah. All right. So we gotta get this going because the fans need to hear a real list. Listen, I know we are a small operation right now. Okay, we are a growing podcast. All right, growing on YouTube. But I'm gonna tell you right now. Maddie says, Mike, I love your optimism. I'm gonna tell you right now. I challenge you. I challenge you to find a better pound for pound list than ours. Okay. Don't even bother with ESPN. Like, I'm not, when I say find a better pound for pound list, I ain't talking about ESPN or ring.com or any of those jokes, right? Those joke of an organization, right? Because they're just putting out their favorite fighters that they have under their contracts, right? Yeah. Go look at some of these other pound for pound lists. Yeah, I'm sure there's some good ones out there, and a lot of them might be similar to ours. But I would say we have some of one of the best ones in the game. Okay, well thought out. We have a panel. We discuss our picks. You know, we discuss our list, and it's a lot of fun. It's good times, and when we put out the next one, I think you guys are going to enjoy it. And if you haven't seen the first one, go check it out. Right, we have the videos up right now. It's a series, and yeah, very entertaining. And again, I gotta say this every time. Don't get emotional about it. This is for fun, right? This is opinions. If you have a different list, man, put it in the comments. Put your reasons, right? So yes, be on the lookout for that. But fellas, do we have anything else to cover? I think we covered everything coming up. I mean, we could talk about the card next week for Tank because we didn't really talk about the undercard. This is probably one of the best undercards I've seen in a while. We got Speedy Rashidi Ellis fighting. We got Demetrius Andrade fighting our guy, Damon Nicholson. Okay, that's gonna be listen. If you don't know about Damon, okay, game fighter, first one to take take Berlanga to a decision. Okay. I think
Berlanga ain't been the same.
Berlanga ain't been the same since he fought Demond.
Just taking shots.
What did Maddie say?
Because the ESPN pound for pound list is like a Cheesecake Factory menu. They will literally throw any old in there. Man,
I agree with you though.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
And that Cheesecake Factory menu can be quite overwhelming. I'm with you, man.
And I'm a fan of Cheesecake Factory. Nothing to beat their brown bread. Okay.
Nothing. That menu is a novella.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta go in there and know where to go. You can't just be wandering around. Okay. But you're absolutely right about that. Here you go. She says, drop the link, Jose. Drop the link. Sit tight. I'll drop the link afterwards. But I'll tell you what link we're going to drop because Mikey told us. Next time somebody says drop the link, we drop the link to patreon.com/LBHTShow. That's the only link you need right there. Okay. Yes. That's where you can sign to our Patreon and you know, you get some nice little perks. In fact, let's just take a moment since we hit the hour mark. Let's take the moment to let the people know what they can get for signing up to patreon.com/LBHTShow.
Yeah, so we have the same kind of tiers as we have for our other show, Lunch Break Hot Take. We have a $3 tier, which is a general support tier, and then we have a $10 tier, which gets you our custom poker deck featuring our top 25 fighters of all time. We did a 5-part series, you know, counting down from 25 to 1. It was a lot of fun, and we turned it into a poker deck there. We also have the $20 tier, which is a combined tier for this show and our other podcast, Lunch Break Hot Take, which will get you, the poker deck as well as our LBHT crew coin and all the benefits from let me take that down. All the benefits from the Lunch Break Hot Take as well. And it'll get you into our Discord server where we have a lot of fun pretty much all day there.
Yes. The Discord server alone is worth the price of admission. So if you have as little as $3 in your pocket, go ahead and sign up. It's a lot of fun. All right. And look, for the Discord, it's essentially a one-time fee. You know, whether you continue to be a member or not, we'll never kick you out of Discord unless you do something.
You're causing issues.
Yes. But once you're in, you're in. Okay. We're building a community there. It's a lot of fun. So go ahead and check it out.
I don't know, unless you get Nightbot. If Nightbot if he start patrolling the Discord streets, some people might get kicked out.
Man, we had put Nightbot out of commission after one appearance.
Took his job way too serious.
So, all right, we'll get out of here soon. So yeah, we got some fights coming up. Oh yeah, I ain't even finished talking about the card. Demetrius Andrade, Damon Nicholson, Rashidi Ellis, and there's another
Jaron Ennis.
Yeah, Boots Ennis
fighting a man named Karen.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, so I apologize, but I haven't heard his name before.
So
unfortunately, we won't get Charlo because he broke his hand. That was supposed to be December as well. Let me see.
Fighting Tim Tszyu. Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, that was supposed to be early February.
Was it early February? I thought it was January.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was late January. But regardless, it's neither of those now.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate.
Let me see what we looking at.
And then after this event, Tank and Ryan Garcia later on in the year.
In April, I believe is what they're looking at.
April.
Fingers crossed.
So if that happens, April's a big month, right? Because that's when Spence is that they're targeting for him to come back and fight, possibly Keith Thurman. So we could have a Spence Keith Thurman fight. That would be a great fight, by the way. Keith Thurman, he looked really good in his last fight.
Yeah. January 28th, Better Biev is fighting Anthony Yard. So that should be an entertaining fight.
Entertaining.
For Better Biev.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got coming up here.
I watched a fight from Better Biev, an older fight where he got dropped.
Yeah, he was wobbled.
He was almost up out of there.
Yeah.
But he came back and knocked the dude out. So I mean, kudos for that. But I saw that, I was like, oh man.
I mean, Adrian Broner, February 25th.
Nah, we don't need to talk about that.
Wait, Adrian Broner. Where is Adrian Broner fighting on?
Black
Black
Prime,
Pride,
baby.
baby. We in the building.
We in the building.
Anyway, March 4th, we got Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall, the rematch there. So that should be a good one as well.
Yes. What
And
happens?
Listen, if you don't have anything else to do tonight, there is a championship fight on. Okay. It is wait, it might be on now because it's in Tokyo. But Ioka and Joshua Franco for a 12-round fight for Ioka's WBO junior bantamweight title and Franco's WBA super junior bantamweight title. So there's a title fight on sometime today. It might be happening right now.
What happens if Josh Taylor doesn't look good again?
I think a lot of people start really coming for a Josh Taylor fight.
Yeah. Teofimo was like, yo, I'm back.
Yeah.
I think Teofimo, we didn't even talk about Teofimo. What do you guys think is next for Teofimo? We were at the fight in New York. Great crowd, lots of fun. And the crowd was really look, the crowd was really there for Xander Zayas. Let's get that straight right now. It was there for Xander Zayas. But they showed out for Teofimo. A lot of Honduras fans were out there in attendance. They had the Honduras flag. Shout out to y'all. But by the end of the fight, man, they were booing. They showed up, but they were a real crowd. They did not like the way he was fighting, and they didn't like the decision. Matt Gunner says March is also Haney and Loma. Okay.
And just to let you know that fight, Ioka and Franco is over. They fought to a draw and kept their titles.
Oh, sorry. Go watch the replay somewhere.
Yeah. You can still catch it. I believe it was on DAZN, I want to say.
Yeah. But
no, I guess it wasn't.
So Teofimo did not look good. He just didn't look good.
No.
A lot of people thought he lost that fight. What happens for him now? Because, right now I couldn't say, right? Like, he got caught on a hot mic asking if he's washed, asking himself like, am I done? I think he has some doubt there, right? He talks a lot of game. You got to do that in the sport. You got to talk yourself up and everything like that. But man, I don't like to speak on people's families. I don't like to speak on like I'm an expert. We're not experts, we're fans, but like, man, it seems obvious that he needs to move on from his dad. Like his dad's just not doing him any favors being in his corner right now. And if he's going to continue letting his dad train him, man, I think that's just to his detriment. Chris Rice says Pro Grace mandatory turned down. The title fight is now a fight. So now Tio is up next. Wait. Who's Pro Grace? The mandatory for Pro Grace?
Yeah.
He turned it down.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have the title.
No, the contender turned it down.
Oh, yeah. And Pro Grace been calling out Teofimo.
He wants Teofimo bad.
Yeah,
I bet he does. He doesn't look good.
Yeah,
like he followed Martin around the ring, and he was getting outboxed all night. And yeah, he landed a few shots here and there, but I mean, he had no answer for Sandor.
Yeah. Now this is interesting, Maddie. Maddie says you're right, Jose. His dad is showing up at other people's fights, causing problems. Get Teofimo to a proper camp. I didn't know that about his father. He just shows up to other people's fights, just talking trash. I don't. Man, listen, it's not your place, man. It's not your. I like Bill Haney overall, right? I like what he's done with his son's career. I think Bill Haney is doing a good job training him, right? But what I don't like about Bill Haney is the trash talking that he does on behalf of his son. But for Teofimo's father, you're doing this trash talking and you're doing a poor job.
Well, yeah, and I think in Haney's case too, he's outgrown Bill being that guy and being out front and everything. Like he's at a point where he needs to be standing on his own, and not every time you see Devin, you see Bill.
Yeah.
Teofimo, like you said, he is not so much that he's outgrown his dad. His dad's a bad trainer. And they don't even, they have nothing for him in fight. You don't see his skills evolving between fights. I mean, you heard when in the Kambosos fight, they went out there in the first round. Teofimo got knocked down, came back to the corner, and his dad was like, "What are you doing? Go knock him out." Well, he just got knocked down. So
Right.
what makes you think that he's going to knock this guy out right now? Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
They just he's been poorly handled recently. So he needs to seriously be thinking about making a change.
Yeah, because I mean, look, there's some opportunities out there, but he has to really question himself right now. Like, man, like where am I going with this? Because what is the next fight? Right? Are you gonna fight Prograis next? I mean, I know he was looking to fight Josh Taylor. Do you need another fight before you take another big fight? I mean, you just had two.
I think he needs not like a tomato can, but like a guy he knows he can beat. A guy that he'll go in there and somebody he can get rid of in 6 rounds or less and get his confidence up before he thinks about fighting a Josh Taylor or anything. I see Maddie talking about running back the Kambosos fight. I'm not sure that he would even. I mean, I think he would beat Kambosos, but I'm not sure that he wants to take that on even right now and where he's at mentally. I think
Kambosos will have
easy fight for him to go in there, get a knockout, get his confidence up, and then see where you're at from there.
I do like the idea of that, but with Kambosos, I'm not sure if he would move up. Like he's not going to move back down to fight Kambosos.
Yeah.
If Kambosos is willing to move up, I think it's not a bad idea, but I think Kambosos rematch would be something. If okay, let's say let's say this is the map. This is the roadmap, Teofimo. Okay, you need to listen to us, the casual fans here. Okay, listen to us. Take on a tune-up fight, like B says. Okay, build up some confidence. He says, "What about Barboza?" That's a possibility right there. Okay, get your confidence back. If Josh Taylor does not look good in this Cottrell fight, or even if Cottrell wins, try to get a title fight with one of them, right? You win that fight, then you do the Kambosos rematch, right? Because at that point, Kambosos, hey man, look, you're getting another shot at a title, right? He's not gonna turn that down. If he has to move up, he'll move up and get another title fight. And this is against a guy that he beat already. I think Teofimo at that point will have no problem putting him away. And it will sell because you got Teofimo who, he's got a decent following. He got some belts again. And he's fighting a guy that previously beat him before.
Yeah.
And they both know how to sell fights. Right. I think that's the roadmap. Teofimo, hit us up at Ring Kings Pod, Twitter, Instagram, okay, TikTok. We'll discuss.
We'll show you the way.
Yes. All right. I think that's it. What are you reading, B?
Nothing. I got a message there.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we'll wrap this up. Any last words before we get up out of here? Going once.
Go Tank.
Go Tank. Yes. Yeah. Once again, if you just joined the live stream, appreciate you coming through. Go ahead and hit the like button. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. But we were talking Tank today. You see it in the thumbnail. We covered the incident that happened with him, his upcoming match against Hector Garcia, which should not be overlooked. That should be a very entertaining fight, a very entertaining card. So make sure you check that out. We discussed a little bit of Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. What's next for both of them? Errol Spence, not so much in question. He's going to have a fight coming up when he's healthy. And Bud Crawford, that's the question mark. Where do you go from there? Because he seems focused on Errol Spence. Errol Spence doesn't seem focused on him right now. I hope there's a plan B, and I hope that plan B is Boots Ennis. Right? Start giving the fans what they want to see.
I don't think he's focused on Errol Spence. I think he likes to say that he's focused on Errol Spence. But if you were focused on Errol Spence, that fight would have got done. I've got no indication from Bud Crawford that he wants to fight top fighters.
Hey, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. And thank you, Maddie Gunner, as always, for coming through. It says, Happy New Year, fellas. Always enjoy your shows and talking with you. Yes, indeed.
Thank you,
Maddie, we gotta reach out to Maddie. We gotta get Maddie on the panel for our pound for pound list.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We will wrap it up there. Okay. About an hour and 20 minutes in. Once again, make sure you follow us at Ring Kings Pod. Whatever social media platform that you follow, we should be there. If you're listening to this on the audio platform, make sure you give us a 5-star review. That helps out the podcast a whole lot. And yes, Living Legend, Happy New Year. Appreciate you. Thank you as always for your support. You be safe as well, my friend. Mr. Jada 6 is in the house too. Says good fortune and growth in 2023, everybody. Same to you. Yes. This is New Year's Eve. If you're watching the replay, you're listening to it. This is New Year's Eve. So happy New Year. And I just want to give an early happy birthday to my daughter, Kaya, who was born on New Year's. Okay. So we're gonna be celebrating that. I already got. I don't think she's watching, but I got your chocolate cake upstairs. Okay.
Turn up time.
Turn up time.
Look at Suge. Suge ready to turn up.
Yeah, Suge said, yeah, he's gonna do a little drinking. Drink responsibly, my friend.
You watched the fight yet?
Watch it first before you turn up, Suge.
Raven C, another supporter of the show, and also make sure if you're a Ravens fan or just a football fan, go subscribe to Raven C, man. He puts out some dope content, and thank you for always supporting us, man. Really appreciate you. All right. Okay, that's it. B, are you ready?
I'm ready.
He is ready. Y'all be safe. Happy New Year's. We will see you next year in 2023. Peace.